Alright, so we're back. New session. I don't really remember what happened.
Systems online. Darrow sequence 1, code 1, 1A. Preset
like
and
what
ready
I
to
said,
engage.
rather, is a better
Suborbital trajectory
describer
plotted.
of what I mean by
Destination
saying that.
Panchaea. Begin countdown, Mr. Darrow.
Begin countdown.
Code 0, 0, 0. Confirm 0. Countdown commencing.
So we're just gonna hop on the shuttle.
Stand by for the electrodynamic launch assist sequence commencing. Beginning descent.
I do know at this point in the game, or during the video, I'm talking about how terrifying a shoot failure in that vehicle would be. And that basically that vehicle in general is super cool. The shuttle being able to go all the way from Singapore to Antarctica in basically an hour max, probably. So I get in.
Jensen.
And I.
Jensen, can you read me?
Barely. I've reached Panchaea, Pritchard. Any word from Sarah for the UN delegates?
Nothing. The installation went into lockdown shortly after Darrow gave his speech. I can't tell if anyone's even alive. And the signal's still broadcasting.
Meaning no one's safe till I get in there and shut it down.
You'll have to disengage the lockdown first. Look for a master control panel at the top of the tower.
And I comment on how cool I think these helicopters are with their dual blades and their landing gear. But these are the delegate helicopters, so you have Britbong Land, then you have Japan and Canada. So, you know, major world players that they figured would be relevant, I imagine. So yeah, this we're about to experience a bug actually, which is really weird. I'm gonna go down this ladder and suddenly I'm at the bottom and climbing up, and I'm really confused. The marker never triggered, so I don't know where I'm supposed to go. So I decided instead to climb back up to fix it, and then climb back down. So electric water is the worst of these games, and I completely botch spotting the EMP mines. The thing is that once you get hit by one, getting hit by another one, it stops mattering. The biggest thing they do is that they take away your battery. So you'll see here I actually can't pick up the box because I don't have enough battery. It's super annoying. That's like the worst part about an EMP, because overall the EMPs do really not a whole lot. They shut down your systems, but generally if you're getting hit by an EMP, you already know what's going on. You don't need a radar. You don't need, you know, stealth. Generally speaking, they only throw EMPs at you when you're in combat. So I'm gonna try to cross over here, but the boxes just kind of shatter as soon as I pick them up. They're really fragile, or fragile. So we run over here, pop this mine, there we go. And then I just realized that I can't make that jump. I probably could run it, but in retrospect, but you know, play it safe. I'm like, oh, let's grab the box. I'm kind of fumbling with it a bit. I'm trying to like regain battery so that I don't lose the second charge that I have, and having trouble gripping it, all this stuff. So make this perfect little bridge, it's really nice. And I hop into the vents. No big surprise there. So I jump down, search this guy's body, take the pocket secretary, you know, whatever. Same old, pretty normal stuff. I pick up the peps, and I think I comment on how the peps is how I'm basically gonna get through this level, because it's the it's the best crowd control option in the game, really. Like for large groups, the thing is that it's normally really loud, and you know you get caught. But in this particular instance, getting caught doesn't matter. And then I get to this mine like an idiot, and I cut to save you the pain of watching me bumble through everything again. At least I think I do.
Jensen, can you...
Yeah, there we go. Sudden jump cut is just... It would be weird if I wasn't here kind of warning you, hey, this is gonna happen. So I fail at knocking out this mine, and you can't hear it, but I'm just like, because basically, it just, everything about it seems like, oh yeah, we're gonna, you know, I should be hitting this. But I didn't take any of the aim upgrades. You know, I don't, Jensen doesn't have the most stable hands in my playthrough. So, at this point I'm looking for a way to get back over those things, because you can't jump over them, not without the leg upgrade. And honestly, buying the leg upgrade is pretty garbage. So we stumble across these guys. They're gonna have credits on them. It's just all these corpses. Yeah, here they are. And they're gonna have credits, and I'm like, what the hell do we need credits for at this point in the game? Because this is the last level. Like, let's be honest. If it wasn't, that would be pretty impressive. But you know, this is just this big climax scene. So you know, it makes sense that this is the final level. But yeah, it turns out that there is a use for the credits. I complained. I'm like, I don't think there's anything to do with these. I don't know why you're still giving them to me. But there's super stuff to do with them. And by that I mean there's one thing to do with them, but it's worthwhile. Eventually we'll find a limb clinic. I'll stumble across a limb clinic and just be so kind of boggled by it. I'm just like, why is this here? What is this doing? Like, I never knew this was here. And I'm like, oh well, you know, that's cool. And I buy like 3 per axis, maybe 2. It's probably only 2. They're 5,000 a pop, and I think I'm just short of the 3rd one. So at this point, I'm kind of skulking around. I think that there's something going on, because I forgot when the zombies come up, or the air quote zombies, just the crazy people, really. But I kind of start skulking around, and this is a huge segment of the video that I should edit out, basically. But when I come back to this room and there's actually stuff going on, I don't really explore it. So while there's not really a whole lot to see,
Access granted.
it does kind of, you know, I think it does help to see it. So I'm gonna play with this robot. I want to just kind of kill it. I just don't want it to be there. So I try to disable it and default it, and it's not working. So I disable it. I'm kind of spooked that it might attack me anyway. But I run out, and I kind of just... I'm just gonna run over to it. And, yeah, it doesn't bother you, and so... I'm like, alright, I guess that's it then. So yeah, this is... it's really hard to talk over this part. There's not a lot going on. It's just gonna be me running around, like I said, fumbling through the zone, and just basically... basically just trying to figure out what to do, like why this exists, I guess is a better way of putting it. And like I said, it turns out later that you come back through and there's different stuff going on, and it makes a lot more sense why it's here. You're supposed to just do the objective, but this game teaches you basically, hey, you know, look around, so it's a bit of a... it's a bit of a, you know, strange thing for the game to suddenly just be like, oh yeah, just go forward. I guess the idea is you're supposed to feel pressed, but there's no time limit or anything, so... I did pick up Rare Replay today, which is the Xbox One game. It's a collection of all of Rare, which if you don't know is a gaming company that's been around since like the 80s. They worked on like original NES games and stuff. It's a collection of like some like 20 odd, maybe 30 of their games that span over 30 years. It is missing certain games like Donkey Kong Country because, you know, they don't have the rights to those anymore. But they do have things like yeah, I keep calling it Banjo-Kazooie like as a joke, but I always forget that sometimes people don't know what I'm talking about when I say Banjo-Kazooie. Well, basically Banjo-Kazooie. It does all the Banjo-Kazooie games.
Panchea's broadcast center is at the base of the station near the bottom of the ocean. Is that right?
But the lockdown caused all the blast doors to seal. You won't be able to go down until you override them manually.
From up in the tower. I got it.
It has all the Banjo-Kazooie games. It has a bunch of games that I've never heard of, but seem pretty cool. There's a fair amount of older games that I honestly don't know squat about, really. Some of them seem pretty cool, though, so, you know, I'll give them a go. I was playing Grabbed by the Ghoulies, which is weird because I know that's, like, considered one of the worst games that it's not great gameplay-wise. It definitely doesn't... I don't think it ever held up. It was never good, really. Which feels blasphemous coming from my mouth, but, I was enjoying playing through it again, honestly. It's easy enough that the gameplay doesn't really feel like a slog, despite the fact that it's not very fun. And the game's kind of charming enough of its own accord that it's really interesting. Just kind of like from the theming, a lot of the music, which is done by Greg Kirkhope, who does the music for Banjo-Kazooie, I was realizing that basically all of the musical cues and sounds, and just the sound design in general, was just very, it just felt very Banjo-Kazooie. Like, there's sound effects that the chickens make, and they're basically just straight the sounds that Kazooie makes. There's music that plays when the mummies come out. It sounds like the music from, almost identical to the music from Gobi's Desert. Just little things like that. I do really like the Grabbed by the Ghoulies theme. Honestly, I kind of just sat on the menu letting the Grabbed by the Ghoulies music play over and over again. I don't know. It's something about the game just kind of grabs me. I think as a kid the controls felt a lot more awkward. I just wasn't... At that point in time, you know, dual sticks were really a lot more new. Like the PlayStation 2 had them. I never had a PlayStation 2. You know, I always had Nintendo. Until the original Xbox, basically. I just had strictly Nintendo, essentially. So I never really had experience with, like, dual sticks. So the dual stick controls were a little jarring as a kid, and I just think the idea of having movement and punch, more the idea of having punch as a analog stick felt bizarre. Oh, here it is.
Oh, God bless me. I think everything else is a bit too,
I don't want it.
slow. You can hear me now.
Okay, I hear you.
look, we're gonna go around.
We got our first Zambia interaction here. It's essentially a Zambi. It's still gonna be pretty quiet though, honestly. And yeah. How do you get into this room? Oh, door. Okay. I was like, how the hell are you supposed to get in when you get into this room? Plasma capsules. Ooh. I'm honestly debating still commentating, but hearing me twice would be annoying. I just want to finish my thought. Yeah, no, the controls felt weird as a kid, but now they feel really, like, fluid.
I'm sure
The game's actually super easy as a result. Iron Oceans. I was having fun playing it, basically. So, rare replay, cool pickup, a lot of neat things going on. If you haven't seen it, at least watch the intro for the game. Tons of fun. I'm gonna go now, so enjoy the rest of the video. Credits that I probably can't use. A hypo, I'll take it. Another one. Booze, lots and lots of booze. This goes. Oh, I just realized I should set this up because I'm gonna need it. I'll take the ammo. I don't want the heavy rifle. Thank you. Ah. Oh, no, I don't. Cool. I don't care. If I was gonna mow down the zombies with a heavy gun, then yes, that would be ideal. No code.
Access denied.
What's in there? Ammo? Boxes? I don't know. Man, whatever, fuck it. Ouch. Ah. Oh, there we go. Oh, I accidentally stepped forward to a little bit too much.
I don't think you want to do that, Mr. Jensen. Disengage lockdown, and whatever demons this station contains are likely to come crashing out on us.
Afraid to die, Darrow? Or just unwilling to face what you've done?
Oh, I know what I've done, believe me. I take no pleasure in it.
And yet you still did it.
I did what had to be done. 20 years ago, I gave the world augmentation technology. I thought I was giving it a bright future, but instead I gave it the means to destroy itself. No law, no UN regulation was going to fix that.
People are dying out there. Hundreds of thousands of people driven to the brink of insanity because of you.
I had to convince the world. Before today, people believed we should steal fire from the gods and redesign human nature. Human nature is the only thing we have that gives us a moral compass and the social skills we need to live in peace. Destroy it, and you destroy our very species.
Don't paint yourself a savior in this. What you're doing is insane.
Is it? When this is done, the Illuminati won't be able to control men and women like you as they had planned, from the inside out. No one will be able to use the technology I invented to make others into beings they desire. Something we both know has happened already.
You think you're Frankenstein? Killing his own monster?
Actually, Mr. Jensen, I prefer to think of myself as Daedalus, watching helplessly as his child crashes into the sea.
Look at those birds. They look like shit.
I'm ending this. Now.
You can't. The signal is being generated from the broadcast center at the base of this facility. Panchea's security system has been programmed to protect it, and will kill you before you even get close.
You designed that system, Darrow. You can tell me how to shut it down.
But I won't. You think what I'm doing is extreme. You simply don't understand. For humanity to survive beyond this century, it must abandon ill-conceived notions about transcendence and embrace change. But for that to happen, the hard lesson must be learned. Blood must be shed.
What you're doing is horrific. It has to stop. You can't force people to change. They have to do it on their own, or they'll end up resenting you for it. And doing it like this? My God, Darrow, it's insane.
It is not insane, Mr. Jensen. Tragic, yes. Unavoidable? No. You, of all people, should be able to understand this. In your former career, were you not sometimes called upon to kill in the line of duty? To carry that grim responsibility in order to save others? You must realize this is no different. Only the scale has changed. Because the threat we face as a species is so extreme.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. None of it matters, because this is what will happen now. After today, whatever you say will be dismissed as the ravings of a mass murderer. You were one of the greatest minds of our time, and tomorrow you'll be nothing but a killer.
I have shown the world the worst of itself, Mr. Jensen. As long as people understand that, what they say of me doesn't matter. Look at everything that has happened since this technology developed. Search your heart. You know as well as I do that humanity is on a downward spiral, torn apart from within because people like you can't resist the temptation to play God with your own evolution. Can't you see why we must take the temptation away?
People like me? I'm no different than you, Darrow. I'm still a human being, just like all the men and women you're driving insane out there. Step back for just one moment and see it through our eyes. You've convinced yourself you're saving the world, but you're just lashing out in spite.
I don't give a damn how you see it. That is to say, I can't afford to. Your body accepts augmentations easily. So easily, it's like a disease eating you up inside, making you crave more.
Where's the I never
Well,
asked for this option?
mine rejects them completely. Yet the desire is still there every day. No, Mr. Jensen, I do not envy you. I understand you. I understand the lengths men will go to obtain what God never wanted us to have. It is why we must see this through to the end.
Darrow, you created something incredible, but you couldn't let go. Is hatred really the only thing you have left? Look at what you've done out there. Open your eyes and look.
No! There is no room for sentimentality here, for weakness. I made a fatal mistake. I believed humanity was ready to become more than it was, but I was wrong. And today the world is paying for my mistake. Kill me if you wish, but I won't give you the security shutdown codes.
Yeah,
I regret nothing I have done. The technology I created must be destroyed, and this is the only way I know to assure it. Go down there, Mr. Jensen. Go down to the core and see with your own eyes the horrors your precious future creates. I've made my choices. Now you must make yours.
Bum, 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 bum. We're not gonna kill you. Oh, he has nothing.